What if I told you that 15 major American cities are completely dead? Not struggling, not declining, completely dead. We're talking about cities where entire neighborhoods are abandoned, where you can buy houses for $1, and where the population has dropped by over 80%. These aren't small towns that faded away. These are major cities that once had hundreds of thousands of people, thriving industries, and bright futures. Today, they're modern ghost towns, hiding in plain sight across America. And the scariest part? This could happen to any city. By the end of this video, you'll see how quickly the American dream can turn into the American nightmare. City 1, Detroit, Michigan, the automotive graveyard. Detroit has lost over 1.3 million people since 1950, shrinking from 1.8 million to just 639,000 today. That's a 65% population collapse. Entire neighborhoods are abandoned, with over 70,000 vacant buildings scattered across the city. You can literally buy houses for $1 because the city can't afford to maintain them. The automotive industry that built Detroit has moved overseas, leaving behind a wasteland of empty factories and broken dreams. Parts of Detroit look like a war zone, with wild animals roaming through abandoned neighborhoods. City 2, Gary, Indiana, the steel town apocalypse. Gary has lost 61% of its population since 1960, dropping from 178,000 to just 69,000 people. The city was built entirely around steel production, and when the mills closed, Gary died with them. Crime rates are among the highest in America, with murder rates 10 times the national average. Entire city blocks are abandoned, and the downtown area looks like a post-apocalyptic movie set. Gary is so dangerous that even Google Street View cars avoid certain neighborhoods. City 3, Youngstown, Ohio, the murder town. Youngstown lost 65% of its population since 1960, falling from 167,000 to just 60,000 residents. The city was devastated when the steel industry collapsed, earning it the nickname Murder Town, USA, due to its astronomical crime rates. Youngstown has over 4,000 abandoned properties, and the city government has essentially given up on entire neighborhoods. The mayor once famously said the city needed to shrink to survive, officially acknowledging that Youngstown is dying. City 4, Camden, New Jersey, the poverty capital. Camden is one of the poorest cities in America, with over 35% of residents living below the poverty line. The city has lost 40% of its population since 1950 and has one of the highest crime rates in the nation. Camden is so dangerous that the entire police force was disbanded and replaced with county officers. The city looks like a war zone, with abandoned buildings, empty lots, and boarded-up storefronts dominating the landscape. City 5, Flint, Michigan, the poisoned city. Flint became internationally famous for its water crisis, but the city was already dying before the poisoning began. Flint has lost 57% of its population since 1960, dropping from 196,000 to just 81,000 people. The water crisis was just the final nail in the coffin for a city that had already been abandoned by industry and government. Thousands of homes sit empty, and entire neighborhoods have been demolished and returned to farmland. City 6, St. Louis, Missouri, the Exodus City. St. Louis has lost 65% of its population since 1950, falling from 856,000 to just 301,000 people. That's over 500,000 people who simply left. The city has one of the highest murder rates in America and thousands of abandoned buildings. Entire neighborhoods that once housed thriving communities are now empty lots, overgrown with weeds. St. Louis is shrinking so fast that the city can't keep up with demolishing abandoned structures. City 7, Baltimore, Maryland, the Wire City. Baltimore has lost 35% of its population since 1950 and has over 16,000 vacant buildings. The city became infamous through The Wire TV series, which accurately depicted the urban decay and crime that plague Baltimore. Drug-related violence is so common that parts of the city have higher murder rates than war zones. Entire neighborhoods have been abandoned, with blocks of empty row houses creating an eerie urban wasteland. City 8, Cleveland, Ohio, the mistake by the lake. Cleveland has lost 57% of its population since 1950, dropping from 914,000 to just 383,000 people. The city earned the cruel nickname, the Mistake, by the lake, due to its economic collapse and environmental disasters. Cleveland has thousands of abandoned properties and entire neighborhoods that look like ghost towns. The city's downtown area empties out after business hours, creating an eerie atmosphere of urban abandonment. City 9, Buffalo, New York, the Rust Belt relic. Buffalo has lost 55% of its population since 1950, falling from 580,000 to just 256,000 people. The city was devastated by the decline of manufacturing and the opening of the St. Lawrence Seaway, which made Buffalo's port obsolete. Entire neighborhoods are filled with abandoned houses, and the city has more vacant lots than occupied buildings in some areas. Buffalo's downtown is largely empty, with massive office buildings sitting vacant. City 10, Dayton, Ohio, the Innovation Graveyard. Dayton has lost 60% of its population since 1960, dropping from 262,000 to just 140,000 people. Despite being the birthplace of aviation and home to major innovations, Dayton couldn't survive the loss of manufacturing jobs. The city has over 6,000 abandoned properties and entire neighborhoods that have been demolished. Dayton's downtown area is largely empty, with more parking lots than businesses. City 11, Akron, Ohio, the Rubber City Collapse. Akron lost 45% of its population since 1960, falling from 290,000 to just 190,000 people. Known as the Rubber City for its tire manufacturing, Akron died when the industry moved overseas. The city has thousands of abandoned homes and entire neighborhoods that look like disaster zones. Akron's unemployment rate remains well above the national average, and young people continue to flee the city. City 12, Toledo, Ohio, the Glass City Shattered. Toledo has lost 40% of its population since 1970, dropping from 383,000 to just 270,000 people. The Glass City was built around glass manufacturing, but when the industry declined, so did Toledo. The city has over 3,000 abandoned properties and entire blocks of empty houses. Toledo's downtown area is largely vacant, with more empty storefronts than operating businesses. City 13, Stockton, California, the Bankruptcy City. Stockton became the largest U.S. city to declare bankruptcy in 2012, and despite emerging from bankruptcy, the city remains in crisis. Stockton has one of the highest crime rates in California and thousands of foreclosed homes from the housing crisis. The city's downtown area is filled with homeless encampments and abandoned buildings. Stockton represents how even California cities can die when economic disaster strikes. City 14, Birmingham, Alabama, the Steel City Rust. Birmingham has lost 55% of its population since 1960, falling from 340,000 to just 200,000 people. The Steel City of the South died when the steel industry collapsed, leaving behind massive abandoned industrial sites. The city has thousands of vacant properties and entire neighborhoods that have been largely abandoned. Birmingham's downtown area empties out after business hours, creating an atmosphere of urban decay. City 15, Trenton, New Jersey, the capital catastrophe. Despite being New Jersey's capital, Trenton has lost 35% of its population since 1950 and has one of the highest crime rates in the state. The city has over 3,000 abandoned properties and entire neighborhoods that look like war zones. Trenton is so dangerous that many state workers who work in the capital city live elsewhere and commute in. The irony of a dying capital city represents the ultimate failure of urban America. These 15 dead cities represent the dark side of the American dream. They show how quickly prosperity can turn to poverty, how entire communities can be abandoned, and how the promise of industrial America became a nightmare of urban decay. These aren't just statistics. They're the graveyards of millions of dreams and the abandoned homes of families who once believed in a better future. The scariest part is that this could happen anywhere. Economic changes, industrial shifts, and government failures can turn any thriving city into a modern ghost town. These dead cities serve as warnings about what happens when America abandons its communities. Which dead city shocked you the most? Do you know anyone who lived in these places before they collapsed? Drop a comment and share your thoughts about urban decay in America. And if you want to see more shocking truths about American cities and states, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The reality of America is much darker than most people realize.